You're such an asshole.
Hello, children. Today's video is brought to you, and especially this topic, Bachelor Pad Economics. I'd mentioned Poor Rich's retirement, but I don't have a copy of it. Don't know where my copy went. And this is an interesting question, and I think many of us have been there or are currently there. A young man writes, is financial security essential to feeling safe in the world? Like, if I have no money, can I actually act on my anger or assert boundaries at work, knowing that if I get fired, I might fall into financial destitution? Like talking back when right behind you is a cliff edge to hell. I'm 27. I need to figure out what's stopping me from asserting myself and asking for what I want. I know inside me that I can do the things I want to do, but my biggest concern is that without that micro FU money, I can't afford to be assertive. I guess you'd call that a lack of FU position. This is one, we'll get to your larger philosophical question, but you're hitting one of the silver bullets to kind of solve the most immediate problem. And that is, you should always have a micro FU fund. Look it up, micro FU money, Aaron Clear, somewhere on the internet. And the mistake that I made is I always paid extra cash out to pay down my mortgage. And that was a dumb mistake. I should have built up at least 6 months reserve cash. So at any time, one of these lying, backstabbing, bleep sucking pieces of banking scum told me to redo figures or lie. Basically, that's what it is, just lie. You know, oh, I know his credit score is 400, but could you not make it sound so bad? It's like, how the heck do I make that not sound so bad? Oh, she's 350 pounds. You want me to say she's hot? It's impossible. But my specific career aside, it is commonplace, if not an American pastime, that every young person must suffer in a psychopathic, completely unjust, unfair, evil, manipulative, vile boss. And the quickest way to avoid those type of people is to make sure you have a micro FU fund. You have 6 months savings. And the second there's a lie, the second there's BS, the second that they, there's been a change. We're going to move it here. I remember one time I was supposed to get an office and they moved me down and said, well, we've moved things around. So we're going to, and I didn't even, this is like day one. Should have walked. And so your job, your number one job out of high school, out of college, is to save up a micro FU fund. Like, but I have debts. I have credit. I don't care. Make the minimum payments on your credit cards. Make your minimum payments on your student loans or college, whatever you got. Your number one thing is to build up a micro FU fund. So the second you run into it's less common, it's going to be a baby boomer boss. It's going to be more Gen X boss. And they lie, you walk. So there's that there. I need to have boundaries out of this crap house world, like how you feel safe just saying what you believe and flipping off anyone who gets on your case. How do I get into that position? Well, that position, look, you're going to deal with idiots and morons at work. Okay. This idea that everyone's nice and wonderful and they'll all work at the central perk. That's BS that girls who graduate with liberal arts degrees believe, right? Doesn't happen. There's always going to be some idiot or some annoyance at work. And that's standard. That's par for the course. Humans are different. So you can't just be whipping people off, telling them to F off, da-da-da-da-da. You got to learn to strike a balance because you'll never work for anyone. You'll never have a job. So it's all right to be annoyed. It's all right to have people that are morons cleaning up people's mistakes. That's going to happen. I'm talking stuff where they're giving contradictory orders. Do this, but they don't give you the resources to do it or the information you need. You like save all your emails. You'll see it. You could just have all correspondence be done with your boss over email. And you'll get them. I've had them like, well, didn't you say this on that date? Yeah, now you're saying that contradicts this. If you clearly just, yeah. It's like, no. That's the stuff. That's where, and then you have the right. More modernly, it'd be like if people want you to get the poke, say, no, I'm not going to get the poke. Well, then you can't work here. Fine, bye. We want you to get a more recent modern day example. We want you to come back to work and commute and pay for parking and suffer traffic and do it during winter and ice storms. No, I'm not coming back. And then you'd be surprised. Say, oh, well, wait a minute, JL. Wait a minute. Just kidding. Ha, ha, ha. pokes and commutes are just so funny. Just kidding. Yeah, that helps to have that 6 months cash. And I don't know how the welfare world works. You're going to have to forgive my voice because I guess a firestorm just decided to start up. And now it's smoky as hell out here. I don't know how welfare works. I don't know how government aid works because I just couldn't be bothered with it. I've always made my own money. But if they're going to hand out stimmy checks, go get one. Again, one of the few things, I don't know if say I even like about Biden, and it was Trump who started it, by the way, but I like seeing the stimulus checks keep what otherwise would have been employed people from the labor force, because it is now forced employers to realize that just because they got the company and the assets, which I'm all for entrepreneurships and capitalism. I'm all for you being the capitalist. You come up with the idea and you organize the machinery and take your money and borrow some people. I got it. You take the risk, but you got to pay people a living wage. Not because it's moral or ethical, but they're not going to work for you because they can't live off of it. They'll always be looking. I always get a kick out of you idiots. Like, we can't seem to find people to stick around. Like, could it be you pay $9 an hour? And the point I'm making is that I have to do a study, and I don't know for a fact, but if you increased your wage, your turnover would be lower, and I'm estimating somewhere around $15 an hour, your turnover problems are going to go away, and you might actually come out making money ahead. Now, it depends on individual thing, this and that, location, but that's the thing I noticed. Paying people $30,000 a year to live in some major metro. And we can't find anyone. They keep quitting. And then there's backlash. Like the work builds up and all of a sudden there's a cascading effect. Oh, you're losing way more than $15 an hour. Had you just paid someone $15 an hour, they would have stuck around. But you gotta be prepared for that. You gotta be prepared to like, oh, you can earn your way. Anyway, so I enjoy seeing people saying, nah, I'm getting stimulus checks. No, I'm going to live at home. No, I'm going to stay on my parents' basements and bang on my drums all day. And if you could go on a government check, go do it. Just do it. Why work for a sociopath? Why work for some psychopath? Why work for some Karen? Oh, I remember this one gal I worked for. She made me her own personal therapist. I'd sit in there for hours at a time, listening to her bitch and whine about her love life. I'm like, when do we do the finance? When do we do the spreadsheets? That's where you got your micro FU fund and you split. So that's the quickest direction for you. Now, how do you get there? Okay, join the military, which, by the way, you're not going to be able to do that in the military. You're going to get your money, you're going to get your food, clothing, and shelter, and you're going to get yelled at, and you're going to be your commander's bitch. All right? But you don't have to deal with this corporate BS anymore. Another thing, work a nighttime job where you don't have to deal with people. Work a second job period so you build up somehow you got to work 2 jobs to put food on the table, pay your rent, and start building up this micro FU fund. That's it. That's all there is to it. You got to do that, and it sucks. It sucks. Welcome to the worst part of your life. Financially speaking, anyway. You could get married. And until you get to that point in time, you can't. I've been there, man. I was there well into my late 20s, early 30s, just taking orders because I didn't have a micro FU fund. I had great equity in my house, but I didn't have a micro FU fund. And I just had to take it from these people, and you don't have a choice. But the second you get that micro FU fund, you're out. Or you get, here's another immediate solution. This is a solution to a lot of wage negotiation and other things, is you get another job. You go work for the competition. Now, I don't know what your skills are, but if you don't have skills, you're kind of screwed. But, go work another job, work a nighttime security job, any job to get away from that one. And you have to tolerate it. Always working toward that micro FU fund position. Blah, blah, blah. How do I get to that position? Is it really just having money saved? Will that turn the switch off? Am I unconscious? Tried to figure out how to trim this down, but I don't care. Thanks. Hey, dude, that was great, man. No, you did. This is more the philosophical question you're answering, and most men face this. because girls just bat their eyes and guys are like, well, I'll buy you food, dinner, and clothing. We don't get that. How do I get to that position is really just having saved money. Yes. Will that turn switch on my unconscious? How do I want to approach this? Because you're 27, so it's already scorched into your mind. I don't know if you can get rid of it. But yes, you will have to basically, the problem is the uphill battle. Every guy is going to have to sit and eat crow pie, but that indicates you did something wrong. You're just going to have to work for sucky bosses. And to feel secure, you do need stable finances because it directly threatens your lower levels of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And I didn't feel secure until I was 36. Until I was 36, 10 years ago. And even then, I was kind of like, oh. And the reason why is your brain, forget your experiences, has been hardwired. If we don't have enough resources, we're going to die. Now, there's government aid and all that. You're not really going to die. You're not going to starve. But your brain doesn't. And so no matter how bad your boss treats you, you have to endure his crap, her psychopathy, just so that you can survive. And it's not until you get enough money in the bank, be a micro FU fund, they have a little bit of wiggle room, or you have true FU money, and then you got total wiggle room, and you never have to answer to somebody again. But for most of you, for those of you over, you're not millionaires just yet, it's kind of the baby steps. And yes, this is going to be a year's process. So you can't get angry. You can't yell. You can't get in their face. You have to constantly being applied for. That's why I say a second part-time job that you have is always applying for other jobs, always being on the lookout. And in my case, I had multiple jobs, and it's always good for you to have multiple jobs, whether that's 2 full-time jobs and then you sleep, or like in my case, sometimes I did work 2 full-time jobs, but I had security, I had ballroom dance, I had my daytime bank job, I had my finance classes, right? But that takes time to build up. But I know, man, I know. I'm not kidding. I am not kidding. I could kill most of my ex-bosses, and I'd be well within my moral right, not legal right, but my moral right to do so. They were lying, evil people that do not deserve to be alive. And that's just killing them. This says nothing about all the BS and the corruption and outright illegal behavior or unethical behavior, lying about jobs and all that. Doesn't matter. You need that paycheck. So you just have to play ball and, take manure like micro FU fund and all that. But the quickest and most direct route, in addition to getting a micro FU fund, we'll go over some more long-term permanent solutions to this. 1, become a minimalist. All right. If you don't need that much money, then your micro FU fund that you need is all that much smaller. In my book, Poor Richard's Retirement, I estimate that you need about $300,000 in today's dollars to retire by the age of 65, by the way, assuming you're going to live to 78. All right. But if you got a car, bro, and you went to the big state school, y'all, I went to Madison, University of Wisconsin-Madison, when what's the one? Wausau, I think you pay a third, or Western Governors University, you pay a fifth. Just got your degree. All right. As long if you can get by just with the bare minimum to live and transport and all that, then that exponentially or dramatically whittles down the amount of money you need to a mere fraction of what you would need had you borrowed all this money, had you gotten a car, bro. Right. So that's the first thing, is be a minimalist. Do not require that much money, because then they have that much less power over you. I work so that you pay me so I can live, but I don't need that much to live. So if you get lippy with me, F off. So that's like the number one thing you can do. Okay. We talked about micro FU money, saving up the money, right? That's the first thing you can do in combination. Those are the first two things. You become a minimalist philosophically, and then immediately start contributing to a micro FU fund. But more long-term, all right, let's not get too overboard. Get an indispensable skill, right? That is the number. Now it takes time to build up, whether it's the trades or going to school for engineering. But once you have that position, where you are in more demand than you need that job, then you can just walk. And again, I always give the example of the heart surgeon. Nobody lips off to the heart surgeon. You know why? Because he's the effing heart surgeon, and there's not a lot of them. And he could just walk down to the next hospital. Like, need a heart surgeon? Why, yes, we do. And that, and I wish you had talked to me earlier, because by 27, you would be there by now. You would have majored in computer science. You would have gotten some advanced certifications. You would have had, 3, 4, 5 years experience under your belt. All right. But you're not there. So I presume you don't have that great of a skill, but get one. And if you don't have the time or things are that tight, join the military. They'll give you training. They'll give you money. You're just going to have to sit down and shut the F up. Especially there, you won't have a choice. But there, it's understood. It's a little bit more psychologically understanding. Like, oh no, it's the military. I got to do what they say. So that having an indispensable skill. And then secondly, although I guess we don't need to state it, don't F up. Don't have a kid, man. Because then it's over. All right. You think it's tough now? Wait till you got a kid. I mean, you could still make 80 grand a year. You got a couple kids and a wife and her student loans and your student loans and wifey poo's SUV, McMansion, McMortgage, McCar loan. You're always going to have things shoved up your ass by your boss. And you're going to have to smile and say, yes, sir. So it's not that bad. It's in your particular case, because you didn't mention a kid. All right. You're that close. But if you have a kid, oops, I'm pregnant. I don't know what happened. I'm on birth control. It's over. All right. You just got to push that little bit more. So, and I don't know much about your finances. Let's go scroll up here. Paycheck comes in. Okay, here you got, your rent is $540 a month. That's great. That's really cheap, even if you're living in a cheap place. You got $2,000 in crypto, $700 in checking. Expenses got down to $700 as well. That's great. All right, so you're already being a minimalist. That's the first step. All right. Second step, get another job. Don't tell me you can't find another job. Now here, I understand. Maybe you're in a part of the country, I don't know where this is, where they're not looking for labor. All right. But I don't know if you've noticed the help wanted signs. Go grab one that sounds like late night security shift. That's what I recommend. Work a second job. That's what I would do. Again, preferably somewhere, deliver food. Delivery boys don't have to deal with a boss on their neck all the time. Some kind of second job, something that you could do, something that pays reasonably well. Look for that hiring bonus. If they're offering a hiring bonus, hey, that just made a big jump to you getting towards your micro FU fund account. Who knows? Your next job, your new job, you might learn better than your old job and you can leave. But that's the next step, getting that second job. And then you're going to have some kind of educational plan. And by education, I don't mean you got to go back to school necessarily, but you got to get some kind of skill or trade. You got to get training in something. Military, I mentioned before, trades, okay. Self-teaching if you don't have the money. That's where your computer programming schools come in. What do they call them? Off my game today. Boot camps, your programming boot camps. Maybe call him CDL truck driver. Ask Alex Patino. He can tell you all about that stuff. But there's some jobs out there where it's just a dental hygienist. That's another one. 18 months training. Boom, you're a dental hygienist. Making, I think, somewhere between 50, 60, 70,000 a year. So go research. Find out what kind of jobs can you take a 2-year program or an 18-month program that's accredited, that's legit, not some fly-by-night school. Not some ITT Technical Institute, although they did teach you technology. And then you got a skill that, okay, I don't have to take crap from this guy anymore. I could go work over here. But I'll be perfectly honest. And then finally, again, I don't know where you're living in the United States. Maybe it's a really bad place for jobs. Start applying for jobs out of town. Apply where they pay. Because I probably should have asked, like, it seems to me, not at $540 a month. A problem a lot of you guys that live over on the East Coast, like the big major metro cities like Philadelphia, New York, Jersey, is you can never make enough money to create the escape velocity to get out of those crap holes and then move, further west to, okay, now I can make it to Scranton, Pennsylvania. Now I can make it to, Mount Laurel, New Jersey or whatever. And I can work at the Applebee's there or whatever. You don't even have money to afford a bus ticket. But I would start applying for jobs if there's no jobs in your town, you got to move towns. Although at $540 a month, that's a good rent, man. That's really good. That's really cheap. But there you go. But then more philosophically, controlling your anger. That's how you end up going to jail a lot of times. This is the pot calling the kettle black, just so you know. I mean, I was this close many times from just decking my boss, from just taking a baseball bat like Robert De Niro to him. Because you're destitute. I know, I was there, man. You didn't know where your money was coming from. You didn't know if you're going to make it. Like, if you had a car expense, you had to sacrifice on food. Bagel ham sandwiches, wasn't that great? And here you got this baby boomer F. Literally, I had one baby boomer F boss complain about the shading of the chart. You damn right I want to kill him. You damn right. Because that idiocy was threatening my livelihood. And you have got to just get it in control. You cannot fly off the handle. Now, I say you're going to go grab a baseball bat and beat him up, no matter how great that would feel and how much you deserved it. But you can't flip people off. You can't yell at them. And so in this book, no, it's not this book. It's this one, How Not to Become a Millennial. If you're that hard up for money, dude, I go to the library and get it for free or ask them to get it. And then read the chapter about the point and purpose of a job. But realize you're just there to get paid. Like, unless they're punching you or forcing you to work in a sewer where you're gagging, like you're physically suffering pain, have your mind become a mind of iron and just ignore it. Your boss, your boss, I look back at it now and my non-professional bosses, like when I worked security, my boss was this douchebag. He was making maybe $12 an hour. And he was this wannabe cop. And, well, he's your boss. But you look back at it, these guys are morons. These are idiots. These are not people to get worked up over. I had another young lady. She had a degree in accounting. She's ex-military, a GI Bill. And she was talking sass about working, I think she was working at a cell phone kiosk or cell phone store. Well, and then Tina said this, and I said, you disrespected me. I don't want to talk to the hand. I'm like, whoa. You went through the United States military. You have a degree in accounting, and you're rolling on with the pigs and mud. And what she didn't realize is that when you work these entry-level positions, your boss is a moron. They're a nobody. I mean, most bosses go nowhere anyway. But if you're the assistant manager of a cell phone store and that's your boss and he or she's giving you guff, ignore them. They're morons. They're not the president and CEO of General Electric. They're never going to be. And so for the here and now, you need larger goals and larger things. And you got to work towards that. So not only should you ignore what your boss says, if your boss says, clean up the poop. Well, I'm not the poop cleaner. I don't care. I said, fine, go clean up the poop. That's what's in that chapter. Is I was a senior credit analyst. I was paid $35 an hour, which was good money in that time. Still is good money today. And they had nothing else to do. I ended up filing and faxing and scanning documents. Was that my job? No, but who cares? Same 8 hours a day. And once I got to that point, things calmed down. I didn't get all angry. It's the same thing with you. Your boss is going to give you stupid. Your boss is dumb. Blah, 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 blah. Fine. Yes, boss. Oh, we're changing now? Okay, going the other way. Oh, we're doing it. Okay, boss. What? Oh, right, boss. Yes, boss. No, boss. Yeah. How high, boss? Your goal is bigger than that. You need to have a goal. So I don't know what your goal is, but your goal should be something like, I want to become plumber, tradesman, soldier, accountant, whatever. I can't make that decision for you. You're going to have to, but that should be your goal so that the next time your low grade, low IQ dip bleep of a boss comes up to you and gives you some petty effing bullshit, you can say, oh, okay, yeah. Oh, Shaniqua didn't show up for his shift and Tanner had a meltdown. He had an anxiety attack and he couldn't find his meds. You need me to come in and work another shift, even though I just finished? Fine, I'll do it. And then the next day you come in, oh, here's my 2 weeks notice. What do you mean 2 weeks notice? Oh, I got a job working security late night. Oh, and I also signed up for the accounting program at Western Governors University. Bye. This is after you got your micro FU fund and all that. And so you got to just ignore them, man. Just ignore them. You need to use them to get to your larger goal. And you can't take what they say personally, and they are going to lie, and they're going to give you contradictory orders, and you just got to, and your coworkers are going to be, especially in the lower ranks, holy cow, the lower ranks, the people who barely graduated from high school, even when it was set on easy mode the past 25 years, the teenage pregnant mom who like they just passed her along and now she's working at the laundromat. And like all they got is the drama at the, oh yeah, you're in the trenches, man. You need to get out. You need to fly above that. Now, I'm not saying go become a heart surgeon because that's a lot of work, but you need to become the heart surgeon or something that flies above that crap. You are not the pig that rolls in mud. And it is a slow, incremental, no room for error, step by step. Get another job. Get rid of the crap you don't need. Start saving your money. Grin and bear it. Don't let your boss get under your skin. Also, now you got a little bit of money. Now you get your second job. All right, now you can quit your first job and get a second job that isn't as bad. Or maybe you work a side hustle while working your nighttime job. Now you're taking some classes. Now you get your associates in accounting. All of a sudden you're 30 and you're doing accounts receivable for some company and they kind of leave you be. And you're not dealing with the trash that works over at the cell phone store. You're not working with the idiots over at, what was it? Flair, Jennifer Aniston, Mike Judd. Why can't I remember the name? Office Space. Watch the movie Office Space, by the way, if you haven't. All of a sudden, you get 2 years later, now you've worked at this company and they kind of respect you. You show up, ain't no drama, ain't no BS. Oh, there's annoying things with any other job and annoying people. But you've been honed and hardened by all your time working at the cell phone store or the Crapplebee's. Applebee's, actually, they're not that bad. Then you CPA, and then you Chad Elkins turning clients away by the time you're 35. But that anger, oh, God. And honestly, I mean, I could sit here now and pontificate. Guys, do you know how close I was to going to jail multiple times? I mean, I've been in the back of a squad car more than once. All right. And dead to rights. And just people like, no, it's your time to be lucky today. How close I've gotten into fights with guys over girlfriends, namely mine. Well, I should have just like, here, she's giving you the signals to take her off. It's good to know. She's all yours. Take this cheating piece of trash out of here. Look out for the STDs. Not that I had any or gave any. Just girls like that are prone to get some. Just stay above the fray. Zen out. Don't let it get to you. And another thing to learn, here's another thing to learn. Watch my video, How Karma Works. I think it's How Karma Works. But vengeance is mine. Or in the case of the biggest bully that was in our school, I know he ended up dead. Because we don't know his death the circumstances of his death were not clear. But he's dead. And it's probably he decided to pick on someone his own size and was just a little bit faster on the punches than him. Or maybe picked on someone with a gun or a knife. In other words, the point I'm trying to say is drama queen Betty, who's the assistant manager at the cell phone store, she's not, what's her future going to look like? You don't have to yell at her. The person that's too dumb to alphabetize files, we had someone like that, who messes that up and makes your work all that much more, and you got to yell, are you going to yell? Whoa, you don't have to do anything about it. That person can't even alphabetize. How great is their life going to be? You know, these, and again, being a hypocrite here, I'm over here in Sturgis, not in Sturgis, during the Sturgis rally, these motorcyclists don't know how to drive. It is rookie league. Sturgis is not for seasoned motorcyclists. They're for rookie motorcyclists. And I've seen a couple people almost biff it and wipe out. I saw two turned over bikes. Tip fell down. One didn't make the turn. The other one didn't make the next turn. Could I get angry that they're slowing up traffic? No, that guy's leg is crushed. That guy was so fat. That guy is so fat that he couldn't make that. He didn't keep the speed to keep the weight and the mass up. So he lost balance. And now his brand new bike is all scratched on the right side. And he's got shape. What's it like? You're so fat, you can't keep a bike up. And what am I going to do? Yell at you and give you the finger and honk my horn? Oh, no, your life sucks. The Lord will punish these people. Vengeance is his. Now, Lord, but I would say nature, poetic justice. You can't be an idiot and not suffer. And so when your peak is like, well, you're the assistant manager of whatever, the Gap. I'm trying to think of something lowbrow. And you're starting to bark contradictory, and she's going to BFF, and you're all getting paid $12 an hour. Don't even get worked up about it. Don't yell at these people. Don't yell at your coworkers. Don't yell at your boss. Just ask yourself this question. And this is where you need to have a goal in mind. So you need to have a plan. I'm going to become an accountant. I'm going to become a programmer. I'm going to become a sailor. I'm going to become a soldier. When their drama and contradictory orders and corporate political office BS comes down the pipe and you got to deal with it, you're just like, okay, cool, fine. I'm not here for the long term. What do you want? Okay, I'll do that. That's fine. And then when you leave, realize it's like leaving high school. Well, I was going to say, it's like leaving high school in the olden days. Not today. Everyone just goes on and goes to college and everyone sucks. But back in the day, it was like leaving high school and you were going to go on to college or the military or bigger and better things. You left all the dirt bags behind because that was their time, their day. Back in my day, I'd probably say high school was the peak of, I'd say 70, 75% of my generation's people's lives. And then college was the remaining 25. And then everybody's life sucked after that. Marriage, family, love. The prom. Yay. That's who these people are. Prom was the biggest day. All right. You're on to bigger, better things, but you need to have that goal. As long as you have that goal and you don't end up in jail, you don't punch people and you don't threaten people. Dude, you go off on a tirade ripping off on your boss. You got to be careful with your words because it's like, I swear I'll come down there and beat your ass. That's a crime. Knock, knock, knock. Oh, hello, Officer O'Reilly. How are you? All right, Rabbit. Where is he hiding? Where's Rocky? He's not in this stove. Oh, he's hiding in the stove, huh? So that's it. So let's recap. 1, control your anger. Otherwise, you go to jail. All right. And that's not good. So zen out. Know where these people are. Know who they are. Know they're going to accomplish nothing. So you got that there. 2, minimalism. You've already done that. In combination with starting to save up for a micro FU fund money. 3, get a second job ASAP. And don't tell me you can't because there's hiring signs all over. If there's not, move, go. Take the bus somewhere if you don't have a car. Find a place where they're hiring. Also for that, maybe the military. But long term, you got to put together a game plan so that any of this low-grade petty BS happens, you don't care. You're on to bigger and better things. You're becoming the next Chad Elkins CPA. You're becoming the next Alex Patino, famous truck driver extraordinaire. You're becoming the next Atham Eldecua, lifelong student who'll never become a chemical engineering major. You become a chemical engineer. And then one day you'll wake up. Don't have kids. Swear to God, don't have a kid you can't afford, man. You might want to consider vasectomy might be step 3.5. Like you know Mickey with the bam bam. All right. And not today or tomorrow, but also in 3 years from now, you'll have a good micro FU fund money account. You'll be able to last 6 months in the field. You'll be less stressed. You'll be less angry. You have some stability. And yes, it's just the fact of Maslow's hierarchy of needs in life. You cannot enjoy life until you feel secure and stable. Just doesn't have. Oh, you'll have fun moments because your mind will go off to other things, and you'll kind of be. Your mind will be distracted from more important matters. But I was 36. You're 27. I had 9 more years of that crap. 9 more years. And it did get better and better and better. But until I felt actually stable, like, okay, now I don't have to worry. It wasn't, this would be the final step, is you're self-employed, where you're not reliant on a boss. Where the only person you could tell to F off is yourself because you're the one that made the mistake. They're like, I'm going to make the mistake. So there you go. All right. Do we have any super chats? We do. Oh my goodness. Look at this. I can afford Poke Bowl today, except there's no Poke Bowl in South Dakota. WizDivision Productions. Welcome back, Wizda. $5. But Cappy, the lefty said, if I just get the poke, I'll get free stimmy checks, food, shelter, and peace sleep for life. Why would I get a job, man? Have you all ever seen a happy leftist? Speaking of vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. Have you ever seen a happy leftist? They could get all the money in the world. And it's almost a rule of law. Someone should come up with it. The higher percentage of your life that's paid for by the government, to the correlation of 1.0, the more miserable you will be. You win the lottery, look how happy those people are. They're not. Mexi Mike, $5. That soundproofing material is fire and makes the sound really crisp. Thank you. Yeah, I got to tune in to hear it myself. I can't hear it right now. But it's lacking some pizzazz. If you send some colorful flags, if I send you some colorful flags, we hang them up. Yes, I'll tell you the game plan with the studio. So just this morning, I finished putting up the rest of the panels. And you don't see that side, which is still got to put panels up. I ran out of panels. I would be recording my next seminar called Achieving Financial Excellence, which I'll be putting up on Teachable. That one I'm going for a low dollar, high volume. So it'll be $49.95, and it'll just be available the entire time, pretty much. I think I'm going to do it that way. So I need a black, consistent background, so it looks professional. Once I'm done with that, then I am going to be hanging up memorabilia that I've unpacked from over the decades. I'm like, oh, here's my patrol. Here's my badge. Here's my head mic. All these things I saved. So it'll be more decorative and homesy. But don't send anything now because I have way more memorabilia than I thought I had. And I just have some artwork that I like. That'll probably go up in the house. But yeah, there'll be a whole bunch of Cappy crap behind me. Including some paintings that a couple people sent me. Sam Whiskey, $5. Join the Merchant Marines and see the world. Yeah, thanks, Sam. There's some jobs out there that they pay. And you don't have to have 2 years this, 3 years that, 4 years the other. That's one of them, but it's like, I really ought to come up with a list. Armani Bless, this is a new guy. Thanks for the $5. Welcome to the show, Armani. What is the minimum salary, do you think, for someone to buy a car? I think having one is a big luxury. I enjoy of saving so much money by making $90K. Well, it kind of depends. For example, if you're Elkins, there's no reason for him to have a car. He lives in Chicago. He's right by the L or the Metro. I can't remember which. And there's parking is a pain in the ass. But if you, okay, here we go again. Bachelor Economics. Get this book. It's linked below. I do an entire chapter about buying cars. And the way I buy cars is past several cars I've gotten have been salvaged. I go to Eastside Auto over in South St. Paul, Minnesota. I may go back there again because I've had good luck with the cars, but the car's got hail damage. It was in a rollover, whatever. The engine's fine. They fix it up. You might find a shop nearby in your area that sells, refurbishes salvaged cars. And that's how you get, and you could find, usually I try to get $5,000 and under 50,000 miles, under 5,000, under 50,000 miles. And they're out there. They're not nice cars. Like my truck, I paid $4,000 for it. Standard transmission, has automatic nothing. No air conditioning. The windows go like this. My Kia Rio, same thing. That didn't even have power steering. You could find them. They just may not have air conditioning. The Competent Man for $5, sort of like Solid Black Studio. It's like PBS Charlie Rose or C-SPAN Book Notes Studio with solid black setup, 2 guys, table, 2 chairs. That's it. Yeah, except I don't watch either of those. I know who Charlie Rose is, but I don't watch C-SPAN. It does have a nice look and feel, though. I'm kind of like, how's this going to turn out? I'm like, yeah, it turned out all right. Whoa, 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 whoa. Remington Longley for $10, generously. I was going crazy living in this society until someone introduced me to you in college. Read Curse of the High IQ, tested at 120. I've been generally happier since. Hope you visit Vegas sometime. I do every winter. And that is a great book. Everyone should get Curse of the High IQ. There you go. Available paperback, Kindle, audiobook. I can finally start pimping my own stuff. Book sales have they didn't take a huge drop. They just slowed down. I'm like, oh yeah, I got to publish my stuff and promote my stuff. And I'm behind on consulting requests. The Timeless Hour podcast. By the way, everyone tune into the Timeless Hour podcast. Most of the bosses I have encountered in the restaurant hotel industry have either been losers, liars, or arrogant. None of them were boomers, surprisingly, just middle-aged. Yeah, I mean, what percent of actual people who work in the restaurant industry become a Gordon Ramsay? Really, I mean, or a Wolfgang Puck. Most of them hate their lives. Just, you hate your job and they hate their job too. Just remember that. Are we almost up? Maxi Mike, $2. Aaron, you missed a whole bunch of super chats. All right. I'll go back and I'll get the. Just bear with me. We'll do the switch over. L Jeff, not Jeff. It's L Jeff, the Jeff, for $5. Cappy, thanks for the tips on cigar bars. Went to Tobacco Grove and Maplewood today. All right, good. All dudes, great vibes. Had some great conversations. What you really ought to do. My favorite one. It's called Perfect Ash in the Twin Cities anyway. And they used to be in St. Paul and they moved all the way down to Inver Grove Heights, Eagan area, which is on the opposite side of the metro there. But yeah, that's the coolest crew I've ever ran into. So walk in there and say, Aaron the author, and they'll be like, you know that dickhead? Why do you know that? Well, it really floor them. Like, yeah, I'm a big fan of it. Like, lie, even if you're not a big fan of mine, just like, yeah, I write all of his books. I heard he comes here. I was hoping to get my, even if he had a book, I was kind of hoping to get my book signed or something. They'd be like, holy crap, he wasn't lying. That's okay, what else? Heavy Water Tread, $5. Sober now, but I've seen your ads above urinals for years, Cap. Wait, were you at the U of M campus? Because I did have ads above urinals for a while. It was pretty cool. That was back in the analog days. Mike Moe, 20. Wow, look at Mike. Mike's a good man. You could tell Mike is a good, honorable, moral, good, probably superior man with Atham and his $2 Mexican poops. Cappy, what do you think of silver at 23.4 and Bitcoin at 46,000? I remember when I was at 12 at the start of Corona Chan, but couldn't get anything fizz for anywhere near that price. The only thing worth having diamonds is real diamonds. I think that's the spot price of silver. The physical price is in the 30s. Yeah, that's the spot price. Yeah. Out here in South Dakota, I called around. It was almost $40 at one time. So what do I think? It is what it is, but I don't care about the spot price. The paper price, that's not the real price. I want physical silver. I don't want some banker saying, oh yeah, we got your silver here. Government bail us out. And then Bitcoin, is Bitcoin at 46,000? My gosh, look, there it is. I'm just holding on to mine, man. Holding on to mine. I don't think anything of Bitcoin at 46,000. It's too volatile. Now I know last I checked, there was something like 287,000 US dollars in circulation per Bitcoin. And that's a good place to start. You take the total money printed off, total money supply of dollars or yen or whatever in circulation, and you could compare it to any other currency. Say, well, that's the global supply of that currency to this one. And then we get into faith and trust and future economic growth expectations and all that, and debt and all these other things. But that's a starting point. And just so you know, by now there's got to easily be over $300,000 per Bitcoin in circulation. And that would technically be a literal price. I'm not saying it's going to go up to 300,000, but that's, but I don't even speculate on crypto. I'm just glad I bought mine, one at 800 and another, I think I got it $35. I sold some. But yeah, it was for once the good guy won one. JC, $5. I appreciate your channel. It's helped me figure out what I want to do when I get out of the army. Good. Don't squander the GI Bill. And oh, by the way, just like all my other military retired buddies, you're all disabled. Even the one who ran a marathon and is 80% disabled. Like, how are you disabled? Well, you say it's really about the way, like, and just so you know, if I'm ever president, I'm coming for that. That's BS, but take it while you got it. The Competent Man, $2. Premium on physical silver is $6 to $10 per ounce. Okay, yeah, so it is in the 30s. The Competent Man, $5. Gold spot dropped $100 Saturday night. Someone decided 4 a.m. would be a great time to sell $4 billion of gold contracts after hours. No manipulation there. You have $4 billion of gold contracts. Tim Maldi, Madel. Tim Madel, $5. Cappy, thanks for all you do. What do you think about expensive hobbies like riding off road? How is that an expensive hobby? Like when I think expensive hobby, I think yachting. A dirt bike off road, that's not that expensive. I mean, the bike is probably, you could pick one up for $3,000-$4,000. Be a good mechanic. I'm all for, look, your hobby isn't expensive if it prevents you from spending money on other things. And the classical example is video games. Like video games are incredibly money saving hobbies. You save a ton of money. Like you get your video game, you play it for 30 hours. Well, that's 30 hours if you're not spending money on what? Booze, buying food, whatever else. So I'm all for, I like motorcycle riding. I have 2 motorcycles, one in Vegas, one up here. Now they're used and old, and I didn't spend more than, I don't think I spent more than $6,000 between the both of them. But I've certainly got my time out of it. So yeah, I'm all for it. As long as it doesn't bankrupt you, as long as you could afford it, as long as you don't have to borrow money. Let's put it that way. All right. We all caught up. All right. Let's all take a break for a second. I'll pull up the lost super chats and we'll get back to it in a couple minutes. So give me a second. Okay, bear with me, guys. We're having technical difficulties because it's not pulling up. I'm going to try it on YouTube or a different browser. And I don't know, my computer is just going so fucking slow. Okay, guys, I'm sorry. YouTube is not allowing me to go back to find the super chats. Normally there's a way you could do that, and it says see all, and I click on it, it's not working. So I will be doing a miss super chats. I'll put it on my to-do list. We'll have that later. I got a lot of other videos to do anyway. So what I'll do is I'll try and bang out these asshole consulting requests, and then tomorrow or the day after I'll do it. And I'll give you guys an update later, but there's been a lot of stuff. But good news is I'm coming back to do consulting now. We're kind of on a regular schedule. It's nice. Yeah, pouring it. Boop, boop. Yeah, that's another thing that might be it too. So, all right, I'll see you guys later. Toodles. Oh, wait. Here's Eric Torres. For $20, we are screwed as Americans. The stupid infrastructure bill and inflation created Biden, Sleepy Joe Biden, really seems like we are socialist America now. We've been socialist since pretty much the Great Society. Look at tax rates. Look at spending rates as a percentage of GDP. We're just now adding the new crazy flavor of printing off money because this time it'll work. All right. The audio quality sucks. I'll see you guys later. Toodles.